kind of starting a little bit early just to make sure everything is working properly. 'Cause new stuff. I did make sure the audio was at least set to the correct thing beforehand, but whether or not it's quiet or too loud, that might be up for debate. I think our volume here might be just a tad too loud, so I'll turn that down just a little bit. But yeah, if volume needs to be louder or quieter, let me know. Anyways, hello Sam. It looks like you're the first person here. I'm not actually expecting too many people to show up for this stream. It is kind of the first time I've streamed in like 3 months, so yeah, we'll see. I kind of want to get back into doing regular stuff again. At least I really want to do is make more good videos in a sense, just because those are kind of what the backbone of YouTube ends up usually being, whereas streams are kind of just more meh. But you know, a lot of it really depends on how much time I end up having and how much I feel like actually doing stuff, so we'll see. I mean, in some sense, I'm not too consistent on content, and a lot of the content I've been making recently is all stream stuff, which is kind of just slow. But yeah, we'll see. A lot of it will help now that we aren't running on 20 FPS, occasionally mixed with 2 FPS, which, you know, is thanks to upgrades. But yeah, looks like audio is working. Yeah, in-game volume on your stream can still be a little bit lower. Alright. Yeah, usually I have it running at that but that does feel a little bit quiet, but whatever. Yeah, overall volume's probably a bit different than what I normally have just because, you know, new setup. So numbers get tweaked. People can yell at me if like I get too loud. I haven't added a noise gate yet to the mic, so might be a little bit more random noise than it usually has, staticky or whatnot. But shouldn't be too much of an issue. Yeah. Alright, looks like we're doing decent. Let's go break this present, and then I think I'll start going over what the plan for today's stream is. It's a pretty simple plan, more or less just grind whatever I can from the event. But again, a lot of it will depend on how I feel about halfway through, because I haven't streamed in a while, so we could see. Oh yeah, volume settings, and yeah, sliders and Roblox don't go well together. It's like drop-down menus. You might notice that, like, if you go to a web page, you have these drop-down menus where you can like click and it'll select one from the list. Those are not fun to code on Roblox. So we have buttons instead, which, you know, looks cool and all, but not quite as fancy. Anyways, the plan for today's stream is mainly going to be go ahead and get our first mythical gift. We are actually, I've been doing a little bit of grinding since I was setting up the stream. Now only 5 uncommon and 5 rare gifts. The 5 rare gifts is going to be the main limiting factor time-wise. And then we can go ahead and craft our first mythical gift. Once we are able to craft it, I'll probably immediately open it, just because it's kind of cooler to open earlier. And yeah, there's one other thing I was thinking of. Oh yeah, we have keys, and actually quite a bit more keys if we complete this quest, so we will be working on Blue Elf. The main grind path is probably just going to be work on Blue Elf. Whenever a present spawns, go ahead and do the present spawn, because this is the best way to get gifts, is doing the present event. As silly as it sounds, the 1 or 2 you do get from it, even from these like common presents, is actually the best way to go ahead and get gifts. It's a bit more RNG though. I've realized that it's a little bit more RNG than I thought it would be when I set up the system, which, you know, some people do enjoy the more RNG, but overall it does make it a little bit more annoying for, you know, actually consistently getting stuff for people who've played recently quite a bit. But yeah, let's start working on Blue Elf. I think I'm going to start with the mini elves from Christmas Plaza, because usually this is the area that least amount of people are in. I've also gone ahead and gotten quite a few perks that will actually help. I did that like last week, I think. But grabbed heavy armor, particle accelerator from Billy, and then I think, oh yeah, multiple streams from Finsley. So I am set up on perk-wise, so it should be pretty decent. Does the Just Your Pet have the same stats as Mushy? No, it's actually slightly worse. I avoided making the best pet in the event, making these pets better than the best pets in the game, but it does have better stats than Sunspot, which is the second best classified in the game. So it is pretty good if you do want to grind for it for stats. It's actually a pretty good thing, and I'm probably going to end up using quite a bit of pets from this event for myself for stats, because I'm slightly behind on my stats. As you can see, I've already started equipping some of these other stuff. Not using Vex Flyer because Vex Flyer is, yeah, it's a classified that I had got for collection, so I didn't want to use that. But yeah, they're fairly good stat-wise. I think I want to transition to a better stat system in the game with better progression. Like, I haven't really thought about it too much, but like one of the things I've realized in Ghost Simulator, all the steps for pet progression, none of them really build off each other, so you can literally, like, a lot of steps can just be skipped or whatever. I want to make it more of a system where you can be like, okay, I'll get this pet, then I'll get that pet, then I'll get that pet or whatever. Which isn't as easy as I'm probably thinking it is, and I'm not thinking it's going to be pretty easy. And that's more of a long-term goal than anything super short-term. But one of the things I've started is actually, like, last mini patch or whatever you want to call it. I started by increasing Steel Monarch, which is the Incinerator pet, to be better than Mushy. It's sort of just, basically, it's not really super impactful to actual gameplay. Just because of how much harder Steel Monarch is to get than a Mushy. But sort of the idea with that is being classifieds are no longer going to be the best stats in the game. Signal more than anything else, just to kind of start the idea that pets will be more based on how hard they are to get than like what rarity they are or standards that have already been set up by the game. So yeah, that's kind of the idea with stats. I think one of the things that made me realize is that the mythical gift, actually, it was originally going to be a mythical gift that was like 5 times more expensive or whatever, but gives a guaranteed mythical. But then when like testers are like, hey, this doesn't feel fun, I actually realized that as a simulator, it sort of needs a progression system. So adding the little tier before, making it a lot easier to do, and then making it more of a upgrade system where you can, if you want to, go get those mythicals, actually, I think made it feel a lot better, and no one's really complained about how difficult it was, even though it sort of stayed at the same difficulty-wise, for those mythical items, at least. So, yeah, that's probably what that's one of my goals going forward, is adding more of those steps for those stats, so that it isn't just skip to mushies or whatever. There could be a little bit more in between where you can be like, oh, I want to get that pet, that pet, that pet, then that pet, to get better or whatever. But, you know, a lot of it really depends on how much I actually feel like balancing, and then how much is actually able to be balanced, because there is stuff in the game that really can't be balanced. And what I mean by that is, like, can't really stop people from like skipping certain stat points or whatever, like, very easily. When do I think the Easter event's coming out? I don't actually know. I know I'm the developer for the game, but usually it's going to come out a week or 2 weeks before Easter actually comes out. Based on current update schedule, it's planned to be like 3 days before Easter, so that Friday. But the week schedule could actually change, since people have been requesting for an extra week on the Christmas event, just because it kind of got delayed almost a week. But yeah. Plan is, though, to have it out before Easter. It's probably going to end up running the same 4 weeks that it did. Oh. We need to clean this up. There we go. But yeah, it's going to end up running the same 4 weeks it probably did last year. I know generally events like Easter and Halloween, or Christmas and Halloween, have ran for 6 weeks. But just based on like the timing of Easter, it makes, I feel like most people prefer it in that 4-week format, especially since it's usually getting content around it, whereas Christmas is, people usually have more time for it than Easter. I don't know. We'll end up crossing that bridge when we get there. We still have a little bit of stuff to still plan out, because, yeah. I think it ending on the 24th is pretty long. Why another week? Mainly just to make up for the week that started late. We'll see what people want after part 3 drops is the big thing. Because right now people are like, oh, update's new. They still feel fresh and excited and want that extra time. But once they've been playing it for 3 weeks, then at that point, they'll have a slightly better idea. But then the idea is just to keep it at that 6 weeks that there's normally available for events. But yeah. It also gives us another week of break, which, you know, isn't as important. I think I should be fine time-wise for all the updates after that. I think, assuming I actually, you know, lock in like I did for the previous parts, but yeah, we'll see. What do you feel is the easiest Rift Gum to get? Ghostly, I think. Like, the thing about Ghostly is that it's event-based, so you can get it from, like, events. But other than that, like, Ghostly Gum in general is actually one of the more difficult ones to grind, despite, like, the 3 buffs I've given to, grinding it. It's still probably the most difficult. But I would say just because it is an event, people grind events a lot more than they do, normal stuff. It ends up just being, like, what people convert for with, like, special gums and whatnot. But yeah, we'll see. Although in this event there isn't any special gums yet. There might be for part 3, but then again, part 3 is this Friday. I haven't coded a lick of code for it, so we'll see. Not that I think there's much that we're planning on doing for part 3. Like the biggest thing would be any balance changes I want to do for the economy for the event, but like there's one big thing, and I don't know if it'll actually take as long as I think it would to do. But yeah, we're probably going to be also able to today get one of the 1,000 key mythicals or both the 500 key mythicals. That's sort of the one of the things I'm debating on getting, is whether I go straight for the Jester or if I grab the Stallion and Mini Angel first, because those are some actually, those are really cool mythicals look wise, but the Jester for the stats is actually pretty good as well. We'll see. Yeah, it is the most common thing from the uncommon present. The main reason why I have that and like the bosses is actually just to prevent people from like AFK stuff, and also to add a little bit more variety to the present. Like, you don't know if you're going to get something nice or if all of a sudden you're going to have to add it. Makes it a little bit more surprising. It's only actually like a 30% chance, which is, I think maybe like a 27, I think is what it's actually coded as. I don't exactly remember what it number-wise is. But yeah, it's fairly common. Main thing is just to add a little bit of variety so it isn't just rewards for if people wanted to AFK. It makes it that just a little bit more difficult. And then it also, you know, adds that little bit of surprise annoyance, which I think makes it better. The knockback is a little bit much on it, I will admit. Which I find funny, and I think most people are fine with, because, like, you know, it does make getting hit a little bit more of a pain. And the reason why heavy armor doesn't work is, again, just to make it actually meaningful. Instead of just sitting there and vacuuming all the ghosts and not having to worry about anything, you actually have to be, even if you have heavy armor, think about it. But yeah. No, dialogue I can't remember if I fixed that dialogue. I don't think it was. I think the funny thing about it is, may have. I don't think it did, though. Usually that's just kind of an oversight on my part, just double checking what stuff looks like. But yeah. All right, let's grab Uncommon Present. Again, we are mainly looking for rares at this point. I think we're still 5 rares away, which, you know, should only take us around an hour and a half, 2 hours to get all those rare gifts. But we'll see. We're technically grinding the most optimal method, so a little bit of fluctuation. I think we're like 2 uncommon gifts away. You know, three uncommon gifts away, and then still a few rare gifts away. Yeah, still 5 rare gifts away. But we'll get them eventually. Are mythical presents worth the grind? Yes, I would say that they are worth the grind. If like that's the thing though about value. Value will usually like on event items, it usually doesn't matter too much like how hard something is to get, because usually people will grind for stuff that's easier or whatever, and it's sort of the value will scale up with how difficult it is. So just because something something that's harder to get will be worth more, and then something that's easier to get will be worth less. So it really doesn't matter what you spend your time doing. But yeah, looking at the numbers, it's about, these mythicals are about as difficult as Halloween 2019 mythicals, which is kind of a little bit on the more difficult side. It's probably the most difficult event mythicals we've had since at least spring like 2022 or 2021, whichever one had the snails or whatever, which were just like super difficult. But yeah, no, I'd say they're worth it. But again, a lot of it depends on whether you're actually going to trade them for value or whatever, and know how to trade for value, which in Ghost Sim is actually kind of difficult. Like, you know, there's just no one really knows value, and whether or not someone's willing to trade for it is always a question up in the air. The good thing about it is that they all have reasonable... What present did we miss? A huge one? Okay, that's fine. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. They do have decent stats, so, like, even if you aren't able to trade it, you can still use, like, either of the pets, or trade the boards for or craft the boards for pets, and then use those as stats even if you aren't able to find a trade. At least for most players. I mean, if you already have mushies, then you aren't usually getting items for stats, so it doesn't matter too much which one you go for. But yeah. How do you feel about this year's key/gift grinding method? Will you use it for, like, future stuff? I like how this event turned out with the different variety of stuff. The one thing I realized as I've, like, designed the event is that you can technically, like, with Blue Elf, the Infinite Quest, you do kind of get everything at that, like, almost near best rate, without needing to really worry about too much of variety stuff. So there isn't, like, people are really doing the Tower for Keys, even though Tower for Keys is technically the best way to get keys. But since Blue Elf does give a decent amount of keys, people just do Blue Elf. And that's fine. I balance-wise, it's good, but it does kind of limit the variety of what people are doing. Like, there are some people just grinding towers, but most people are just doing Blue Elf for stuff. So I might end up making a little bit more variety on stuff to actually do. So, like, the Infinite Quest doesn't give all 3 things in a decent amount. It'd give, like, 2 of them or whatever. And then also the RNG element on the gifts was one thing I've noticed players didn't like. And so it'll probably maybe even like part 3 of this event. I haven't decided yet. But adding a way to consistently grind for a gift if you absolutely need to. It won't be as good as the RNG stuff just because you can't. Or, well, it's better not to make the RNG actually exciting. But it will make it a lot less frustrating for people who are missing, like, a godly gift or aren't able to get as much uncommon gifts to craft stuff. And even if it isn't, like, worth it to like craft a mythical gift, buying it straight or whatever, you can still finish up a mythical gift or whatever. So yeah, those are the two big things I've noticed from this event. But overall, I think what I've seen is people really like the variety with the Infinite quests. At least quest-wise, they like the different ways to get it using presents, towers, and not just towers or ghosts. So a bit more random stuff. And yeah, and I think that's good. I definitely like how presents turned out, even though it is kind of just click thing until it opens. People like that for some reason, because we really don't have that in Ghost Simulator. Like, yes, you have ghosts, but ghosts don't quite feel the same thing as static events. Like, yes, we somewhat have bosses, but bosses, again, don't feel the same. They feel like more of work than something like that, where it just kind of feels like free stuff. But yeah. But yeah, Infinite quests are definitely going to be reused later. I like how it turned out. I think the one idea I had was turning it from a completely random which difficulty of quests you get into more of a difficulty thing. So you'll get like 2 easies, a medium, a easy, a medium, a hard, easy, extreme, or whatever. Just so it's less RNG on that, so you can kind of just grind away. Balancing that so it's fun is kind of difficult. Like, it's easy just to make it random each time. Like, really, really easy to do that. But I understand the merits of wanting to have more of that less RNG on the quest. So, Infinite quests, when they do come back, will be structured better, so it is not as RNG as this one was. Because that is, again, the biggest complaint I've seen with this event is the RNG elements. And so, lowering that while still keeping that RNG as the fun part of the event, I think will help. Again, I'm not really a game balancing specialist, so a lot of it is kind of just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. Which I think a lot of stuff from this event, a lot of stuff from Halloween have stuck pretty well. Surprisingly well. Player numbers haven't shown it, but from player feedback has. Alright. Another permanent NPC in the game. I don't know. Based on current projections, we're planning 1 in Q1, so sometime in the next 3 months we'll get one. But yeah, permanent NPCs are one of those things, like, right now we don't actually have much content that we can add before we just need to sit down and do the big final part arc 2, which, you know, is a lot of work, and probably we haven't put enough work into that. Me personally, I've not put enough work into getting that out in a soon time manner. Like, earliest it could possibly be out is being pushed back and back and back, which is kind of bad. I should stop planning random other stuff, but it is definitely one of those things where this game does kind of still need random stuff. Like, we can't just push more content, even though people are excited for that new stuff, and it will be like huge and good for the game. The fact that most new players won't be able to get to it is still like one of those things that's in the back of my mind. Do I need to fix all of the early progression so that people, gold the gift, people can get there faster without having to like skip some stuff? Oh, hello, Purple. Do you think Snow Angel and Jester will be worth more than presents? Are you talking about, like, the mythical gift, or, like, what specifically are you talking about with the presents? Because usually I refer to presents as this event, gifts as the items, and then it's just a lot of terminology gets. Okay, mythical gifts. Time-wise, it takes about 8 hours, 8.5, to get a mythical gift on average. That is doing full event bait on the present event, which isn't reasonable in some sense, but is sort of my estimate, is like maxing events for balance wise, just because that makes it easier to be like, oh yeah, nothing is broken because they're all balanced for maximal, so you can't maximize something and get more than I expect on them stuff. Yeah, I think I own like 3 purple sweatshirts at this point. Actually 4. It's one of those things that I've liked the color purple for so long that every single piece of clothing I get feels like it's purple, so it just ends up being the case. But yeah. You last streamed last year before? Yeah, I haven't streamed in a while. I mean, obviously I haven't streamed since last year, but no, even more than that, I haven't really streamed since, I think, like, one time during the Halloween event, and then, like, before that, consistent streams were, like, mid-June. It's been bad. But yeah. But yeah, back to the Mythical Gift. Mythical Gift takes about 8.5 hours to get, assuming maxed stuff. The Jester or Mini Angel takes 6 and 12 hours respectively, doing tower grinding with full loot gum, which again, full boss gum, like enchanted boss gum, 2 times boss drops, no event pass, to get it, which again, maybe isn't reasonable, but that's like the highest. And then with event pass, that gets about half down to 3 and 6 hours. So realistically speaking, one mythical gift, if you have the event pass, is going to be more time to get than even a Jester will be, which, yeah, putting that number out there, it's like, yeah, no, it's probably worth more. And you can actually see that in trading. People are offering 1,000 key items for mythical gifts, and I think if someone is offering, like, the way I think of it with trading, in a perfect system, people aren't perfect, so some trading stuff gets a little bit weird with, like, people actually over trading knowingly. But, like, if someone's offering to do a trade, generally what they're getting is they consider more valuable than what they're trading. And so if someone's offering 1,000 key item for a mythical gift, generally the mythical gift is worth more. At least that's the way I like to think about it. No. I don't plan on adding memes to the game. I'm not very meme following, trend following, which is in some ways bad. Like, you know, following trends does help games stay alive. But yeah, no, I think I like to keep Ghost Sim serious more than anything. Like there's a little bit that can be done, but most of the time I want to kind of keep it serious, not adding memes everywhere in the game, not following trends too much. Same thing applies to low taper stuff. Any meme not really going to be added to the game. I know most of the time people are joking about that, like, but I am of the opinion that meme stuff don't go into games too much, just to keep kind of the sanctity or whatever, but I understand that they have their place. I know with, like, stuff like Pug, where it's already in the game, you get a little bit of leeway, but, like, just following the trend to follow the trend, I don't know, always feels a little cheap to me. What was the other thing? Oh, yeah, Minecraft stuff. Yeah, no one's really, I haven't really played recently. But, again, someone griefed the base. I'm not saying it was you, but I am saying that it didn't happen after you got kicked out. So, it's one of those things I can't really, especially with other clanmates at that time, couldn't really afford to have issues. So I kicked the person who I thought was most likely to cause the issues. So, anyways, Squid Games update win. Surprisingly, I haven't watched Squid Games. I understand the idea of it, but yeah, again, that's kind of the following the trend sort of thing I don't like to do. Also, I'm surprised no one's reported the issue with these ghosts looking the wrong way when they get vacuumed, which I really appreciate, but you know, is not great for game design to have stuff looking weird like that. But oh, we still need a few more snowflakes mainly. Don't follow me. Yeah, I am. All the memes I get are like 2-3 months out of date, so it's like by the time I get a meme reference, it's way too late to use it in game. I've always been this way. It's not just because I'm old. Surprisingly, it's kind of just, I don't know. I never got too much into social meme circles, which is probably just because I'm slightly more antisocial than most people are. But yeah, 2.3 thousand more. Oh, yeah. When the update came out, for some reason, I gave the wrong item from Green Elf's Quest, so had to do an emergency patch for that one. Not the worst emergency patch I've had. Surprisingly, not the worst emergency patch this year. But yeah, no, every once in a while I forget stuff on update stuff, so... And again, we are grabbing these events even though we don't need them for quests, because this is the best way to get gifts, and I am planning on getting at least one mythical gift item. Probably I want both the godly ones, just because those are the easier ones to get. I don't have enough time to actually grind for the mythical ones. I technically have them in the index already because I was doing testing because I needed to for crafting stuff, but you guys can ignore that. I don't have them in my inventory anymore because I delete stuff like that. Actually, that being said, I do have the mythical board in my inventory because I've been needing to test out how laggy it is, because making this not laggy was not okay. Yeah, you guys can see it. That dropped my FPS a lot. Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll try to figure out how to make that thing not laggy. A lot of it's because I programmed it spaghetti and made it spaghettis, but a little bit of it's still because hoverboards in general are a bit laggy. But yeah. Why is there that thing? Because I saw a button and it needed to do something. Yeah, that was just a random idea to put into the game. Like, there are some stuff in this event where it's just like, oh yeah, let's make it do that. And so it does that. And it has no other purpose other than to be a button that does something. It's arguably bad because that is random dev time spent doing nothing. But also kind of cool because now it does something. Ooh, godly gift. This is what I care about. How does a pro make a Falco incredibly unoptimized? Making it glint colors, and then I don't know which is the proper run service thing to connect to make it optimized. Like, do I bind it to the heartbeat, which is what it currently does, which I which is what the Roblox developer documentation says to do, is bind to heartbeat. I think post simulation is probably the best one, but then there's also like render step, pre-simulation, and like 2 other options for like what to bind it to. And I don't know which one's less laggy, and I don't know how to test that. I mean, I can eyeball it, but one of the interesting things about it is like when I'm in like a private server or testing servers or whatever, it doesn't actually lag the game as much. Is the classified from the incinerator the hardest classified in the game? That's not a classified, that's actually a mythical. But yeah, it is the hardest item to get in the game currently. Ignoring event items, like for instance, this mythical pet and board are probably about the same difficulty. But yeah, it requires converting a lot of items to flames to get, so yeah. Anyways, actually, I can't remember. When is my, reward gift available? 30 minutes. Alright, we should be able to claim that. We are only on day 2, so, we haven't made very good progress. I was like, I logged in, like, when it first launched, I'm like, okay, I'll log in every day to claim this. And then I forgot to claim it next day. And then I did that again on, like, Friday, because I'm like, okay, I need to be able to get, like, the full cycle for those godly gifts or whatever. Nope, failed to log in Saturday or whatever. So yeah, now we're kind of just wherever we end up on that daily gift login stuff, we'll end up getting. But yeah. We still need, how many more? I think we still need the full 5 more rare gifts. We'll take 10 angelic keys. I can't really complain about keys because I do need them eventually for more key stuff. But yeah, the main thing about like the mythical crafting, the way I try to set it up is because it is tradable. I try to make uncommon gifts the main limiting factor with like actually crafting the mythical gift. So there isn't actually, I try to reduce the amount of like free uncommon gifts players could get or whatever, just to sort of make it so people had to grind for it, so it wasn't like logging in daily could actually get you a mythical gift, so people weren't really alting as much. At least that was the attempt. I think it turned out pretty well. I do know there are issues with this system, just because it is a lot of uncommon gifts, but people struggling with like rares or legendaries or whatever do get quite a bit of a boost from just logging in daily. Like, I mean, it's basically 3 hours of progress for all those gifts for just logging in daily and claiming the rewards for everything but uncommon. So, per week, of course, which, you know, isn't as much as you'd think, but it is still fairly good in terms of like being able to actually afford the stuff, especially if you're just missing like 1 or 2. I think the 1,000 key stuff is pretty much worth a mushy on its own. Ghostly Rift Gum is pretty much worthless Like Ripcom, like even with the amount of buffs I've been trying to give non-currency methods for gem boosts, it's still pretty much worthless, which, you know, unfortunate. But yeah, with the thousand, I think I'm not too much into trading. So when I say trading value, I definitely should specify that that's what I think, and don't expect, like, for instance, 1,000 key mythical could be like 2 or 3 mushies for all I know. I think it's roughly 1, but it could be 2 or 3. Yeah, sooner rather than later, I'm planning on doing some revamps to unboxings, so just, yeah. Yeah, just so you know. Also, can you see my... No, you can't quite see the cat. The cat's just been chilling here for, like, the last 2 hours. Yeah, not a great angle. You know, I got her the cat tree in the back. She doesn't use it, so... Whatever, eventually she'll get used to it. Yeah, that's a great webcam placement. We don't need to worry about that. Alright, is that set up back, Kirk? Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah, that cat's actually really, really cute. Her favorite thing is sitting in your lap and not leaving for 5 hours, which is great when you need to go do stuff, but also really nice when you don't. Let's go. I want to go use a... Yeah, whatever. This is fine. Basically, if you don't know, using Boss Gum on Mr. Present is the best use of Boss Gum in this event. Just because it does drop 1 to 2 keys instead of normal Mega Bosses only dropping 1. It is rare enough that I thought it wasn't game breaking. And it should, I don't think it is, but it should be, it is definitely the best way to use it. So if you do have like spare Boss Gum and you want to use it this event, instead of using it on Mega Bosses, well, in addition to using it on Mega Bosses, you can use it on Mr. Present to actually go ahead and get even more keys than what you get from the bosses. I don't even do Billy, it's worthless. Billy's actually probably one of the best perks now. He got a buff recently, and then rest of vacuum stats got a nerf so that you aren't one-shotting as many ghosts. And he also works on event ghosts now, so pretty much pretty good. But yeah, if you don't know, Billy last year or so, like I think it was like August, July, somewhere around there. Basically, vacuum stats got reworked so that people aren't one-shotting ghosts as much. And then it also got changed so that Billy perk, in addition to giving the additional vacuum speed as you're vacuuming the same ghost, you'll also get an additional support from streams that you aren't using. So if you're vacuuming one ghost with like 2 additional streams, have those streams actually go into vacuuming that one ghost faster, which is, I think, actually a fairly good way to use it. It helps if you don't have as many streams or aren't able to connect to as many ghosts. It helps just kind of balance out having extra streams as well. Like having 5 streams now isn't useless because you can now vacuum one ghost 3 times faster. Boop. Snowflakes. Yeah, the one issue with it is now it has this super long description on it. Like, you know, way too long of a description to be down there. But like it literally, I think needs every word of that. I mean, other than like the vacuum slash disruptor, I think it could just be vacuum. But yeah, it's a bit complicated. Oh, this is a nice quest. Oh, 2 rare gifts, perfect. But yeah, we just hit 1 million cold snowflakes. That isn't as important right now, but we do want to get some of that snowflake stuff. I haven't got anything yet from this event for snowflakes or keys, so whenever I can, I will try to grab as much as possible. So I will use loot gum pretty much whenever I grind ghosts. Okay, apparently I forgot to charge my headphones before the stream, so my headphones are now 20% battery life, which should last like another hour or so. But yeah, the stream's already been going for 40 minutes, so I don't know. Hour 40, it might be a little bit of a shorter stream. Hopefully I do manage to at least get 1 mythical gift this thing. I think that is kind of my goal right now. But yeah, also getting the keys would be nice. We'll take an uncommon gift. Again, uncommon gifts are most likely going to be our limiting factor for future gifts. Do I play any shooters like Fortnite, Valorant? No, I've never really played any shooters. A lot of it, I never had a good PC really for any fast-paced stuff. And therefore I've never got good reaction speeds for any shooter stuff. I don't really plan on doing it either, but I've definitely got a little bit more into different types of games now that I'm no longer running Roblox at 20 FPS, which is actually really nice, I will say, because if anyone's watched any of my previous streams, you know those things usually do not, those things never ran around above 20 FPS because that's what I limited my PC at to prevent overheating. And then now, we're running 60 FPS fine. I haven't even optimized Roblox, or, yeah, I think we're running full graphics. Graphics quality is on automatic, so we're probably running full graphics. And having 0 issues, which is surprising, again, because I haven't optimized anything yet, so that's good. Here we are, is it vent? Hello! Have you tweaked your PC? No, I upgraded my PC. I went from a laptop to an actual dedicated PC, which is just as good as, or much better than I was expecting to be, and I was expecting to be amazing. So, yeah, 0 complaints about this. Only issue I have noticed is that if like the power goes out, it does immediately turn off my PC, whereas with a laptop you kind of just get the, oh yeah, eventually the internet goes down when your power goes out, which is, you know, not great, but allows you to keep like work and stuff, which is all right. But yeah, the big issue I have with it is that like not really, I haven't transferred a lot of the stuff over. And then like one of the big things I've realized as an issue is I'm trying to keep it as a gaming PC, so I don't have as much of the my normal account stuff on it. Like I've tried to just keep it as my gaming account versus my normal user account. And the way I've set up all of my work stuff, I have work stuff on here, but I don't have, since I don't have my main email, I don't have the work stuff connections. This is a little bit of a growing pain for trying to figure out exactly what I need on here. Like importing all of my Roblox Studio settings, and yeah, not a smooth transition as I was hoping, but use-wise, it's good. We will be getting 1 gift from that. We're getting 2 gifts from here, so we'll just need 2 more gifts in addition to that login reward in this quest. Which, you know, we could get from drops. Honestly, we probably already have gotten one from drops. No. No, we're still staying at 20. But yeah, because crafting was down for the last 3 days, people have just kind of been collecting stuff to craft now. And I guess some people just haven't got around to crafting or aren't planning on crafting until they have more of it or whatever. But yeah. Yeah, no. Apparently a lot of people were complaining that crafting was down, because in-game, just, everyone in Discord could, like, see the announcements and stuff, but I know in-game, not always do people get, like, the updates or whatever, so, yeah. So, people who were playing were saying that a lot of people were talking about crafting not working, which is kind of on me. I didn't add any UI to specify that I was down, which is more because it was, like, a quick emergency patch rather than a well-thought-out, change to the game, but yeah. I got so many verifies complaining. Yeah, there were minor growing pains with that one. But when you look into the code and find a bug like that, you kind of just remove it as soon as possible and deal with it later. And basically, the day after that was my birthday. The day after that was a family Christmas gathering. So I was out of like wanting to work for a little bit of time. Snowman, so many snowmen. Like people, I saw like 3 or 4 people being like, wait, Blue Elf just gives a lot of this one specific ghost biome. And they're like, is it hard-coded to give this specific biome? And everyone's like complaining about different biomes. And it's just, randomly you are going to have one biome that you get a lot of ghosts from back to back to back or whatever. And apparently we're hitting that with Snowman. Yeah. And I mean, there's definitely, the one thing about Ghost Sim is that there are definitely like issues with like, even like the development timeline, even though it is like an update every 2 weeks, like usually those updates aren't like super massive, and generally like you can ignore an update or 2 and still get caught up. Which is good. But yeah, balance-wise, the game has definitely more issues than other games do. I understand why it doesn't get as many players as it does, but people that do play it definitely all have that same opinion that it definitely deserves more players, which might just be a bias because we like this type of game, whereas it's not the type of game that everyone likes to play. But yeah. 90th birthday. I'm not 90. I'm only like, I'm slightly younger than 90. Alright, let's go grab the present. Ooh, presents in this biome. No, it's dealing with the community that's given me these wrinkles, not so much the age. No, but in all seriousness, the community is actually really nice. Like there's definitely times where the community is like kind of a bit annoying, but as a whole, like players are really nice about stuff. Like I'm kind of, it's a really good community to be a part of. And as much as it sometimes doesn't look like it, I am trying to make the game better. And so, yeah. I know sometimes some of the updates are not people's favorite, but it is what it's going to be. Is there a Ghost Simulator community server? In the links to in the link on the game, there's actually a link to the Discord community, which is generally where things does, as well as the Roblox group. But no one, I don't know. I feel like no one really uses Roblox groups anymore, or communities, I guess, as they're called. I mean, it's like people calling, or it's like them changing the name of games to experiences, which, you know, makes sense since not everything on Roblox is a game. There are some stuff where it's just kind of like, oh, this is a cool feature, or hey, I built this, or let's hang out here. Not everything's a game, which makes sense. I mean, people don't like change ever, so it got a lot of dislike for that. But long term, that makes sense. Like, same thing with groups. Not always is it. I mean, it feels like they're the same word, but community is more of a broader sense than a group is. A group feels more of, like, closer, I guess, in a sense, whereas a community is kind of a more broader sense. And again, like, changing the words on stuff doesn't really do too much. Alright, the one thing I kind of regret on Ghost Simulator right now is how big the range has gotten for players. Like, there is... Now, I think there's, like... I mean, you have the 2x range, which is normal, which I think is probably the biggest culprit to why it feels so big. But then I also added the changes to the Rebirth vacuum perk, which, you know, it needed. It probably still isn't as good, but it's a lot better now. And then vacuum gum as well, but no one uses vacuum gum, which is good, in a sense. That means that it isn't broken good, but it does mean that in theory your vacuum range can be like forever long, and might be a little bit over the reasonable threshold, which, yeah, not ideal for a game to just feel clunky with that long of a range. No, I don't know who that is. Gift 22 still 8 more minutes. Okay, that's a cool quest. We do have to go do a tower, so we shall go do the tower, and then 100 twinkles from the icicle cave. No, I don't really listen to too much music. Like, I am so out of pop culture with music stuff, but yeah. Anyways, one tower, and then we'll grab the ghosts. Again, towers is actually the most time-consuming part of Blue Elf, so in a sense, this is like a difficult quest, but honestly, doing towers gets you keys anyway, so it's not as bad as it looks time-wise. I think my favorite thing about this event is just how clean it feels to have the different health ghosts. Like, that was one of the last minute changes I kind of made to this event that I really didn't think too much about. Like, I thought about it enough to balance, like, the health wise to be the same as, like, vacuum times or whatever, to keep the average correct. But, like, I didn't really go into it being like, oh yeah, this seems like a, or this is something I should do. Let's talk it out, figure out what to plan it. But like, because like every other event before this event has always had an even, every ghost has had the same amount of health no matter where it's located. Other than like special ghosts like Strawberry Cat is the only exception to that rule, and that was only in last Easter. Or I guess in other Easter events technically. But yeah, people haven't complained about it, and from what I've felt, it feels nice even in like normal ghost floors or whatever. It works out pretty nicely. So that's probably one of the most surprising things about this update, at least in my opinion. I mean, there's always vacuum gum. And then, yeah, one of the things I've done is grab the perks. Like, getting Billy, Finsley, all those perks actually does help quite a bit with it. And then, yeah, obviously there is still the wrong lever. I should technically do the other one first, but yeah. But you know, it does actually also add a little bit of difficulty. There it is. Sorry, I coded this and no one even cares about it, it feels like. But yeah. Boop. Alright, let's go back. Green letter. Boop. And then brown book. This is probably the most difficult item to find, or at least what testers complain about the most. Like, it even got a star added to it and people still can't find it, so yeah. Not there it is. Oop. And that's it. Yeah, I mean, again, that sort of adds a little bit of difficulty to vacuuming those ghosts in that area, so I'm kind of fine with it. But oh, we got a mega boss. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, the floors on this tower is actually a little bit different than usually towers are. Instead of it being like random no matter what, like, ouch. That's why I don't look over here at chat. Instead of it being like completely random, like what each floor is, like usually in the previous towers, floors 1 through 5 on the tower was just completely random, could be whatever. This one, they're kind of dedicated floor types. It's like floor 1 can only be ever a ghost floor or an obby floor. And floor 2 can only be ever a race or a puzzle. It gets a little bit random, like floor 7 is a 25% chance of any of the floor types other than mini boss. But it does mean that it is more of a structured, less than a randomized, which, you know, I think people are appreciating, but yeah. Also, I fixed that one bug where you could just walk through this area of the tower, which, you know, was only there for 2 years, and everyone got kicked out of the tower a few times with. You know, that is definitely okay. Thank you, Scrooge. That was definitely one of the most annoying things about the Christmas tower before, was getting booted out of the tower straight through a hole in the thing just because no one made it collidable. But yeah. Overall, though, not too difficult of a tower, I think, especially once you get used to the new puzzle floors. Like, when the tower first dropped, people were like, oh, these puzzle floors are so difficult. And then they did, like, 2 towers, and they're like, oh, why was I complaining? This isn't actually even that bad. They're actually sort of fun. It's definitely can get boring, though. I mean, pretty much anything can get boring after a little bit of time. Or a lot of time, but yeah. Oh, we're missing a goblet present. That's annoying. I'm surprised by how many uncommon gifts we have. Like, I know 100 doesn't seem like a lot, but I've only really... my chair keeps sinking. I need to fix it at some point. But yeah, I've really only been playing for like 7, 8 hours maybe now. I'm not like super active playing. Since, you know, I also have to develop the event and other game at the same time. Ooh, went straight to it. Yellow blood. There it is. Orange present. Despite what anyone says, this is definitely orange and not brown. But yeah, a lot of these puzzles, like, there's only, like, 2 puzzles that can damage you, and, like, both of those are actually super easy to avoid being damaged on. And the idea here was more to make, like, most of them more fun, time-wise, than, annoying time-wise, or than, like, damage you, which is definitely, a decision. Like, having stuff difficult does make it less boring in a sense, but, you know, I think it turned out nice. Like, there's always options to add, like, time limits to stuff to damage players, which I'm not a super big fan of. Can your cat come on camera? She's currently sleeping and doesn't want to be bothered. Like, and last time I changed my camera, I dropped it, so we're just not going to touch that thing. But yeah, setup-wise, there's a bit of definitely work to do setup wise. Like, even though I doubled the amount of USB ports I have, I am actually using all of them right now, because I now have a mouse and a keyboard that need to be wired. Or they don't need to be wired. I could definitely use Bluetooth stuff, but it's easier to have them wired. And while I was upgrading my PC, I upgraded my monitor and my keyboard and everything else to go with it, so I'm doing pretty good. But yeah, last floor in the boss. Once we have this, we'll be done with the quest, pretty much. because 100 ghosts is actually not too difficult time-wise. It's kind of funny, like, I was doing the programming on these, on the, quest stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, 50 ghosts, 25 ghosts, whatever, 25, 50, 100, 200, 100, like, 75, 100, and I'm like, oh yeah, that should be enough. And then I started running numbers, and I'm like, oh wow, there needs to be a lot more normal ghosts. Especially since towers were so, like, time-consuming compared to everything else. Like, even one tower in a quest, like, that's 15 minutes per quest, so, yeah. Actually, that's probably my, like, one of my favorite parts about this event is actually the numbers, running numbers on how to balance stuff. I spent, like, 5-6 hours, pretty much one entire day, just running numbers on how to balance stuff. And then once I got that balance, I had to go, like, make sure all those numbers fit what was getting added to the game. And so I could pretty much say with certainty that, oh yeah, everything in this event balanced. This is how long stuff will take to get, given best standards on grinding or whatever, which I really enjoy doing. I think it makes this event as good as it is. But yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed that part of this event. And I'm proud of that part of the event, because usually with events, you guys know how they are. You have a lot of random stuff, and there's always that really good thing. Also, that's kind of funny, but we don't worry about it. Surprisingly, Mini Angel decides to stay in the arena unlike every other boss we've had so far, which is good, because I don't know what I was doing with her most of the time. I copy-pasted a lot of code. Alright, that is the last boss, or the last floor, so we should be done. It took us 14 minutes, a pretty slow tower. The average I balanced towers for was about 12 minutes, which is actually surprisingly accurate. Like, people have done it in, like, under 9 minutes, I think, but, like, most of the time it actually takes a reasonable time. That is now our 4th tower completed. This number doesn't update until the tower actually completes, so this time left runs out, which is just sort of how towers have always worked. Yeah, 50 keys away now, 4 towers. We are not getting on the towers completed leaderboard, and we did I spaghetti that? Of course I spaghetti that. Okay, is this one working? Alright, this one's working at least. Yeah, I don't know what went. I don't know why I programmed stuff so badly. But yeah, there is no gold highlighting. Or is it gold? Is it just a really... Oh, it's just a really dark gold for whatever reason. Okay. Hard to see. It is there, though. Anyways, we need to go vacuum some ghosts. Actually, we're getting close to that 1,000 key mythical I was talking about. If a developer gets on the leaderboard, I feel it'd be kind of unfair. Look, it's not like I'm cheating to get there. I haven't really cheated anything. I do actively play. Like, 99% of my inventory is not developer abuse. There's like 3 items currently in here that are definitely developer, or like could be considered developer abuse, and that would be Wisteria Moth, the current Greed's board, because I've needed it for testing to see how laggy it is, which apparently still very laggy, and then one snail thing because it was purple, and the store doesn't rotate immediately when the update drops. But yeah, that's it. That's literally it in my inventory. So whatever progress I get on leaderboards, that is legitimate progress. Unless I do it in testing. But the way I actually have stuff set up for testing, even when data saving's on in testing, players don't actually get progress for the leaderboards while in testing. So even if they get access to the tower like 2 days early or whatever, I set a cap at how much stats they can get at. So while in testing, they can only gain up to like 3 towers completed. So at most, they're getting like 30 minutes of advantage over players on the leaderboard, which, you know, most of them don't even play that much. If they do, like, play 4 hours with data saving on, they aren't that far ahead. So it's even as like a developer, I have those same limits on my leaderboard stuff. So yeah. I mean, in a sense, yes, but if I work for it and get on a leaderboard, you better understand I'm keeping that reward because that is fair play. But yeah, most of the time, all my inventory is not really for trade, so even though it is technically legitimate, it isn't like it matters too much for like economy stuff. Like, even if for some reason I decide to grind like some of the rarer stuff this event, like it's not going to actually impact the economy too much or at all because it won't be for trade. But you could argue, why not just not play and just give yourself the items and save yourself the time? And most of it's just I like to play for fun. And presents open. If this could give me a rare gift, that would be really cool. I don't remember what the rare gift chance of giving, or rare present's chance of giving a rare gift is, but, you know. Rare gift might be the one thing I accidentally misbalanced to be rarer than it should be. I think everything else is on rate for. But like, there's always a chance I typo the wrong number in certain places. Like, you know, entirety of... No. I think one thing in Blue Elf was typoed, and I fixed that in part 2, so... It was like a 2 instead of a 15 or something, for its drop chance. I took such a long break. What was added in this event? In this event, we got new floor types to the tower, so now you have puzzle floors on the tower, new mega boss in the tower, and then the biggest changes are price increases on a lot of stuff, so a lot of stuff is actually harder to get. Like if we go look at the pet crates, we actually have expensive stuff for once, but stats are good. So like if we look at like a uncommon or whatever from here, you'll notice that pretty good stat wise if you start comparing it to find the comparable. It's actually better than any, I think it's better than any pet crate currently in the game, like including pet crate 16. But yeah, and then there's also gifts, which basically present event you can get some gifts from, and then those gifts can either be opened or turned into a mythical gift. And yeah, mythical gift has cool stuff. I think that's about it. I mean, if you play the event, there's more to it. There's a lot of smaller balance changes for the event, like ghosts now have different health, ghosts have drops that are cooler, rare chance at getting like some of the cooler stuff. Yeah, like honestly, that's still balanced and fairly easy to get. Like as silly as it sounds, the pricing is priced in and not actually difficult to get. Like I have an event pass, so I'm getting 2 times snowflakes. But even without that, I'd still be 500,000 from like 8 hours or whatever. Which, you know, arguably isn't enough to get some stuff from the crate. But on the other hand, most people are running either event pass or 2 times items or lucky boost. And even if you aren't, then even like the commons or whatever and opening it once you get a common will really help your stat stuff. And then you can also grind stuff that isn't snowflakes, like keys, which isn't, or even gifts, which is not impacted at all right now by anything. So anyone can grind for a mythical gift at basically the same rate. Or, well, if you have a few perks like the 2 times agility or whatever, those can, but It's not like a direct 2x, it's more of a passive 2x or passive boost. I don't know. But yeah. Stop jumping around the president. Oh, yeah, no. I get bored while clicking, because, you know, as stupid as it sounds, like, people like this stuff, but it's literally just click this thing until it opens, which, you know, works well for a gift, but isn't technically the most exciting gameplay thing. So, yeah. Actually, in testing, they went from like a minute to open a gift, 30 seconds to open a gift, 20 seconds a gift. Just because I realized like it is boring to stand there for a long period of time. All right, there we go. We got keys. We are 5 keys away. Uncommon gifts. Lovely. Not exactly what I needed. We'll go grab our rare gift from here, and then... yeah, there we go. Claim it. And then I might start... oh, we need to do another tower. Lovely. Alright, whatever. That tower will give us the keys we need for... unlocking the Mythical, so that will be good. I just want to grab this snowman first. I know we'll probably get some snowmen in the tower, but easier just grab them now. Don't worry, the presents, the way they're coded, they actually only take like an input every half second. So if you can click 2 times per second, it's the same as using an autoclicker. That's sort of like a big thing about game programming. Like, you make it so that balance-wise, you can't exploit easily. Like, you can't run an autoclicker at 1,000 clicks per second and instantly open a gift. You add those time controls, which unboxing never got that memo, but it will soon. But yeah, no, that's sort of the idea. That's why it's kind of fine to use autoclickers on stuff, is because it really should just be add a debounce, so that a normal player clicking normally would be able to do the same as an autoclicker. Or at least that's my thought, is like, if you can sit there and click, autoclicker is fine, just to make it easier. Like, that's a big thing about rules, which got added in the settings, which isn't perfectly up to date. There might be new rules added. It changed slightly. But like, using an autoclicker, actively playing, is allowed, whereas macros or AFK farming, using an autoclicker while you're away from your computer for like an extended period of time is not allowed. It goes over quite a bit of those more specifically on what I think is fine. Again, these are more of my opinions than anything else. They match pretty closely to what we've done as community rules in the past. So if you know what we usually use community-wise for rules, then you shouldn't really need to read the game rules, but the specifics are there for anyone who doesn't usually okay, I got pushed off. Who doesn't usually follow like what the community standards are for that sort of stuff. Thank you. Yeah, no, I haven't really live streamed regularly. This is the first one I've done in like six months, other than like one live stream I did for the Halloween event. So over the new year, I do plan on doing them a bit more regularly, but we'll see. But yeah, glad you enjoyed the game. I definitely enjoyed playing this game a lot when I was before I became a dev, and still enjoy playing it. So the fact that other people do also enjoy it is always nice to hear. Especially now that I'm a developer, I'm actually doing stuff to the game. It's like, okay, people are appreciating the work I put into it, which is always good. Because occasionally people don't appreciate the work I put into it, and it's like, why did I do that? Or sometimes it's like, okay, this needs to happen, guys. Please stop complaining. But those are rare. It's usually like, okay, maybe I should have done that better, and you know, let's get that fixed so that people actually enjoy the game again, because at the end of the day, that's sort of the goal, is to make it a game that people enjoy playing. So adding stuff that people don't like isn't ideal, even if it fixes an issue. Sometimes it's better. As someone actually, some wise person once told me, I think that was Ninja Wars, better to inflate out your issues away rather than deflate the economy by balancing stuff down. Or at least that's what I got from his complaining. But yeah, sometimes it's better, like with mythical gifts, adding new stuff to make stuff difficult instead of making all of a sudden the key mythicals 5,000 keys, which would have been balanced. I think some people would have liked it, but there would have been a few people complaining about, like, oh, why is this so expensive? Which would have been legitimate issues. Also, I don't think these conveyors are fast enough. But yeah. Sometimes also what I've noticed is, like, the feedback that players give isn't, like, exactly what the issue is. Like, with mythical gifts, people are like, oh, this is too expensive when it first was added. It was just, it didn't feel rewarding to open them, was more of the issue. And so by decreasing the price but adding the crafting to them, made it, I think, even though it's, like, pretty much still the same price for a mythical or whatever, time-wise, it's feels a lot more rewarding because you do have those extra steps, which is something I learned when doing this update. Yeah, 5,000 keys just sounds absolutely crazy. It does. And that's the thing about pricing on this event. Going up to 500 keys, I was always a little bit wary of it, even though it was technically balanced. Like, technically speaking, like, this event isn't better. Like, this event is actually worse key-wise than a max grind on the Halloween event, which is silly to say, but is actually the case. So, like, if you grinded the Halloween event, you were getting more keys per, like, a minute than you are getting in this event, even though it feels like you're getting a lot more with, like, infinite quests and stuff. The big thing is, it's more based on having the event pass than it is on gum. And then also, it is everything factored in, whereas, like, it's a lot easier without event gum to get stuff. But yeah. Because of the infinite quest and, like, the amount of tower drops that happen. But yeah. Mic is a bit glitchy? Yeah. I'm assuming that's either because I hit it or anything like that. No, right now we don't, as developers, we don't actually have people work, especially for free, or and definitely not on development stuff. Usually it'd be like creating assets is what we go for people for. But we usually, it's a specific process that requires people to, like, actually be hired by us for the work they do. It's mostly just to make sure things are, like, up to date and people get paid for what they do and stuff like that. More than anything else. But yeah, no, not really any help from development. But yeah, good luck learning how to program games. I love learning how to program on Roblox, and programming Ghost Sim has taught me a lot on that. And I kind of want to make my own game at some point. Right now I'm a bit busy with Ghost Sim and the new game that they're doing with the Interlude group. I'm going this door. It's wrong. Alright. Now we have to clean up ghosts. Oop. These spawn a bit slowly, but that's on purpose. But yeah, no. Learning how to program is definitely worth it. A lot of it is learning the logic of programming, which is not easy to do. Like, the way I like to say it is, like, most of programming is not actually programming. It's, like, the first steps of learning how to, like, think how to solve a problem like it. And as silly as it sounds, like it's using code to solve a problem is a lot more difficult than I think. I've learned how to program. Okay, I guessed the wrong door. Again, I think we've guessed all but one door on this floor, which is why it's one of the more annoying ones. But you know. But yeah, no. If you do learn how to do it, it takes time, and but it's definitely worth it to be able to make cool stuff like games. Oop. There we go. Yellow buck. Despite me setting where all of those spawns are, I have no idea where they are. But yeah. Robux for your program job? I forgot what you said. I get paid in Robux, which I can cash out for USD, which I generally do. I can't go into too much specifics on how much, or at least I can't do it like both ways, tell like what percentage and then what amount I get paid. For sure, I definitely share one of those numbers, but I'm doing not. But yeah, honestly, it's actually a decent amount. It's not comparable to like a full-time job. Like if I got a full-time job working like retail or something silly, I would be able to make a lot more than I make on Ghost Sim. But it's definitely a lot of fun, and it's more than I'd expect, which is good because you know, I like getting paid. I like money, and me getting paid does, you know, encourage me to put more effort into the game, especially being paid percentage of Ghost Sim's profit. Yeah, no, you guys are fine asking questions. If it is an issue on any of the questions you ask, I will just not answer it. So don't be afraid to ask questions. That's sort of, I guess, sort of how conversations should go. You should be ask whatever you want, and if it isn't something they can answer, they won't answer it. Especially when it is kind of something you don't understand. Like, I feel like it's really bad to be like so negative about what someone asks when a question, when it's like they're legitimately asking the question. Give them a legitimate answer. Like sometimes I understand when it's like a silly question that people are just like instant responses, like why would you ask that silly question? Even if it obviously isn't silly the person asking. But yeah, no, that's my thought on questions, especially when it's like personal questions. Okay, I like how the snowball attack works. It's the fact it freezes you. Yeah, it's I like how that attack looks. It is kind of directly stolen from Fluffy and then programmed to be a little bit better to use snowballs instead. They are a bit big, and like most of the attacks in this mini angel, you can just kind of you know, jetpack over it. But yeah, is there any major plans for the future of the game? The biggest one is the addition of a new like end of second arc stuff that's been linked a little bit with the original forest, which is going to include mega bosses and Phantom in some extent as a mega boss. All of that is leaked by Jack's Quest, I think. So that's not a developer leak, that's already in the game leak. And that's coming at some point, hopefully next year, or hopefully this year, I guess. Hopefully. A lot of that depends on how much time I am able to actually put in and how much time it actually takes to figure out that whole thing. But, yeah. And then rebalancing the game so that there's this ongoing project I have of rebalancing the game that's slowly and surely getting through. Big one is, current plan is, that I've said, is rebalancing unboxing so that's fair for everyone, and rebalancing the ow. rebalancing inventory so it isn't as laggy to like unbox stuff or how load into a game, which is actually Q1 stuff. I have both of those planned out for Q1, so we'll get in those soon. But yeah, a lot of it is rebalancing just to make new players easier to get into the game so that we can increase our player base more than like as cool as the original Forest will be with all that content with like mega bosses everywhere or whatever. It isn't going to save the game. Like, new content doesn't save games. It's balancing it so new players can get into it. That is my belief, at least, as a developer and as a player. Again, you can have your own opinion on what exactly game needs, but that's mine. When it comes to specific items, pets, and boards added to the game, are you in charge of that, or is Thunder? And then, usually the way it works is I come up with the idea, or sometimes we both come up with ideas, like with board crates or whatever. It's usually pretty obvious. But usually it's one of us gets an idea for what we need in the game, and then Dark Thunder's in charge of modeling what it looks like. We can give a little bit of I can give a little bit of theme stuff, but generally it's Dark Thunder making pets and boards, and that's what gets added to the game. I get a little bit of say in like how it actually gets implemented, like size of stuff, because I overrule in some respects. Animations and stuff like that are my job. Like what color changing, movement, anything like that is usually my job. And then finally adding the thing to the game, like stats on stuff, I get a full say on. And then rarity, I usually adjust a little bit, but generally the idea of rarity we both have, and it usually is based more on how stuff looks. The one thing is, Christmas Part 2 was a big update, and since Dark was kind of busy and been doing a lot of modeling work, I did a few of the models myself for the event, just because I wanted to add additional stuff that we hadn't planned out. Like, we plan these updates usually 2 to 3 months out in advance, so since I hadn't really planned ahead and let him know that, hey, I want to do mythical gifts with 4 new items, I kind of had to do all those myself, which is surprising because people really like how those things look, even though it's just straight up stolen assets or whatever, or spaghetti modeling from Roblox Studio, which is funny. Like, I don't even remember where I stole it from, but like, I just took a random model that we have sitting around, and that's Cold Chunk, and then a lot of Cold Chunks are the Greed's Reward, and they look cool because of the neon effect with the burn. But yeah, gums are still one of the best things ever. I've been slowly trying to nerf them, like shadow nerfs, where it's more of just buffs to other areas than actual nerfs. Like with this event specifically with Infinite Quest, that was the main goal of it, is make gum not useful. I need to go grab 3 snowmen. I'll be back. I'm not abandoning the gift I opened. I'm just multitasking. I know people complain so much when someone opens a gift and then doesn't clean up the ambush or whatever afterwards. It's kind of funny. I find it funny, but obviously it is definitely a you made this mess, please clean it up sort of deal. That's a lot of snowflakes. I don't know if we're going to be doing that quest, because I really just need to get rare gifts at this point. 2 more. No, that's definitely one of the things I've noticed is making them original. Like silly gift is a cool one. Like, you know, let me equip that one really quick. That one I completely made myself. Cold Chunk I made myself. Scrap Bag I made myself. Actually, Scrap Bag is a hilarious story. It looks super cool. It's literally just straight stolen from a Grave Plot, which is another board I made by just straight stealing assets. But I try to make the stuff I steal actually, like, again, unique, and then try to rely on... Oh, I forgot to use a boss gum. Oh, well. Try to rely on them having a unique aspect to them, like spinning, moving around, moving parts, colored parts, stuff like that, which I can actually do pretty easily, and then it's kind of one of those things that I can make idea-wise work a lot easier than in some respects, making it look cool. Yeah, Silly Gift is such a weird... I love how it turned out. It's so weird, though. Like, I have my pets off. Why do I have my pets off? Anyways. That's what I usually want. But yeah, he just spins. His eyes spin. Anyways. I needed 2 more rare gifts. I guess we'll work on this quest. It's actually not that difficult of a quest. And like 164,000 snowflakes is a lot of snowflakes for it, so not really. Yeah, no, that's like Silly Gift is sort of my idea of what my pets should look like, where they're kind of moving around, changing colors, a little bit more on the unique idea rather than cool modeling work that Dark does. Like, you know, all the cool looking stuff is Dark's thing. When it's like a cool color or changing, sometimes that's Dark's idea, but that's always my implementation of stuff. Yeah, 2023, I mean, there was no developer working on the game, was, like, literally the entire issue. Like, you know, it's not really anyone's fault that it was bad, but it was definitely a bad event. I mean, in some respects, obviously, it was the same as 2022 event, and therefore, it was just as good as the 2022 event, but, since technically it was just kind of a straight duplicate because there was no developer, there was no, dedicated modeler or whatever for the event. It did just kind of feel cheap for a lot of players, and therefore it didn't get as many players. But yeah. And then at that time I was getting hired for the game, so I didn't do much content, which, you know, it's always interesting to say. But yeah, it also helps, like, I have a lot of cool assets to steal from. Like, a lot of cool assets. Like, the gift stuff, I kind of just stole that from, what Dark, put in the towers. Like, there was no, intention to have gift items, like, really until, like, halfway into that week or whatever. I decided, hey, that'd be cool to have. And then came up with, or there was intention to have them, but the idea was just to reuse like these gifts that we had for for the Advent stuff. But I'm like, oh, these gifts look better in the tower. Let's reuse that, give them a little bit of a makeover for the gifts, and you know, they are just kind of colored or textured variations of, you know, those gifts that you find everywhere in the tower as decorations. But they look cool enough. It definitely works better than having the old color or whatever. What's your honest opinion on the 2023 Halloween and Christmas events? I don't remember playing those too much. I think they're pretty generic. They're good, I guess. I don't know. They didn't stand out to me. There wasn't anything super unique like we had with the Rileys or the colored deer that really stood out from previous Christmas events. Or anything from this year was super cool. So it's hard to compare to this year when I made everything. I'm super biased, but past years, I don't know. Like, I couldn't name anything that came from those events. Nothing really stood out. Like, I can't remember if there's... I guess there was Lantern Witch. Lantern Witch was cool. But, you know, other than that, I don't remember much. Yes, I'm super biased about what I make. I love everything I make, and I think it's... Okay, I don't think it's perfect. There's the ghost system. Every time I look at Ghost, I am reminded that I spaghetti that ghost system together, and it should not be that way. But no one really notices that it's spaghetti. Like, there's a few issues with like Ghost dropping items in the wrong spot, but that's most of what people notice. They don't notice that the back end's a mess, which, you know, is something I can just fix one day and okay, it'd be like 4 days to fix it because it is bad. But it is one of those things where it can kind of just be, you know, updated. If people don't notice that's an issue, it's not too much of an issue. We need to continue grabbing more stuff. I keep forgetting to use boss gum on stuff. Rare present, we go grab those. Yeah, okay. Rare gifts might be a little bit more difficult than I let on. Or I thought. Other than that, though, I think all the other gifts are about as common as I was expecting. Oh, another one. Again, it's funny when people when I see someone complain about the amount of Mr. Presents you get, because, again, he is the best source of keys in the event. Like, hands down, if you can find a Mr. Present, you do the Mr. Present, you use a boss gum. It is so good on keys. But yeah, no, I understand. It is less exciting than just getting something for free. Even if you do have heavy armor, it's just another minute and a half of wait for free. But yeah. Also, I was originally going to have Mr. Present give the old loot bag just because I'm like, it's been reran 2 years, might as well just rerun it a third year. Apparently that was a bad idea. I got outvoted on that one, and now he drops keys. Which I think does actually work better than the returning the loot bag, but whatever. Yeah, they are a bit rarer. Miss Present specifically is like mainly a tower thing was the idea. So the fact that it spawns from the Godly Present is more of just a make up for the fact that that percentage of the thing was kind of needed to be filled by something. And the fact like it wasn't available outside the tower was a little bit. I'm not going to be able to find a boss gum in time. I'm so bad at that. But yeah, no, it's fine, I guess. Especially with Mr. Present being so good, it's better to have him on the bit on the rarer side, so it isn't like, oh, that's the only way to get good amount of keys. No, it's just kind of a bonus keys, what it feels more like, at least from my playing. Oh, another rare present. We do those. Was Mrs. Present supposed to be Mr. Present's sister, other sort of relative partner? What was the idea behind her? I don't know. I did not come up with the lore for it, so I presume this is I don't know lore, and this is not canon to the game. I presume they would be like husband and wife sort of deal. But yeah, no, there's definitely that sort of idea they could just be related instead of like, you know, married or whatever. But yeah, again, that's not canon. Don't take what I said as lore. Technically, since this is not inside the official game, I think I can technically say stuff that wouldn't be allowed on Roblox itself, but I'm not going to. Oh, I do kind of not need to run away. I think the funniest thing about this is I see people on Discord complain about how annoying the ambushes are. And then I go into a public server and I see like an antenna level 1 like running around and dodging the ghost attacks and just being like chill with it. And it's like, okay, you're telling me The good people on Discord are complaining about something that random people in Publix have figured out how to avoid. And it's just like, yeah, I don't know if that really needs to be complained about, but whatever. Ignoring your claims. I mean, I don't think in lore it's ever confirmed that way, and I don't know exactly what the lore writer's intentions are. That's my assumption, and as an assumption, I think it's pretty safe to say, since it's usually how Mr. and Mrs. work. But yeah, no, we aren't, I'm not too, set on one way of thinking about that. As you guys can probably see, we named the, present Mini Miss, which usually refers to someone unmarried, so, whereas MRS usually refers to someone married. It's one of those things that we're not going to be, I'm not too concerned about being consistent with, or following one specific idea on. And that's sort of on purpose, just to not, because Roblox does not like people dating or whatnot, especially in a PG game. I think being married is technically alright, just because, you know, being married isn't not PG. But yeah. Yeah, yeah, I haven't, yeah, that's an issue with the mic setup. I haven't gone through and adjusted how the mic sounds. Might be keyboard stuff, might be, mic settings wrong. Maybe that helps? Probably not. Mics. Yeah, I haven't set up my mic yet, so that's probably why. But yeah, the FPS is a lot better. Like, infinitely better. I haven't ran into issues once. My PC isn't overheating whatsoever. Like, I could probably stream... Yeah, I could probably stream some really cool stuff. No issues on this thing. It's super nice. I've really not even used this yet. I have got so many uncommon gifts. So many. We just need 2 rare ones. I think the funny thing is someone in the server I'm in is literally low on uncommon gifts. So this is actually really good for them. But for me, it's like, I need those rare ones. I need 5 more of these, and then a bit more on the snowflake department. And then we're good. Yeah, we are good on those, and then we'll go grab stuff in... Actually, now it's a little worse. Yeah! Lovely. I wonder if that's where the cord runs. There's stuff I can do in, like... What I did in my previous OBS was add, like, a noise gate, so that only, like, disturbances over a certain decibel rating would actually count, which made it really good. But I haven't done that yet. Like, this is my first time streaming. I'll need to actually record or whatever a few times to get a good sense of where it should be at. Test out the audio a little bit. So probably next time I do a video, it'll be better. But for now, you guys get the messy stuff, unfinished audio or whatever. Barely understand. Okay. Alright, let's turn gain up a little bit. Might also be chord interference. Alright, what do you guys think our next quest reward will be? Will it be common gift, uncommon gift, snowflakes, or keys? I think the highest chance is technically snowflakes, but keys is pretty close second. Again, we'll take snowflakes. We still need quite a bit for all the stuff. 1 legendary gift. That's fairly good. Yeah, no, I'm mainly... mainly interested in getting those 2 rare gifts I need, so we're going to event bait for a little bit. Imagine not completing the ace yet. Do I have still the ace sitting here? Oh, I do. Yeah, there's a few things I've grabbed for Rebirth. I haven't Rebirthed since before the Leo change, or Leo's required. So I had to do Leo for the first time for the heavy armor for this event, and it's actually not that bad. I have no idea why people are complaining. Like, it is okay, at least as a pay-to-win endgame player, it's not that bad of a quest. Even for a new player, I'm assuming, like, it caps at, like, 20 rare ghosts, which, unless you're being sniped by an endgame player like myself, it's not that difficult. I got a lot on me. Alright, but yeah, we're going to go until we get, that rare gift that we need. Or the 2 rare gifts, I guess. Yeah. So, like, Fern I haven't turned in Agent Blaze. Liz is chilling for some reason. I don't know why I started Liz. But yeah, a lot of random quests. Not as bad as it could be, but not clean anyways. Older quest pets? We'll see. Second arc will probably be a yes. Oh look, we got an uncommon gift from one of the ghost drops. Those things are huge. I did not realize how big I made those as an item drop. So yeah. They're a bit bigger than they should be, but it does make it cool when you see one drop. Is actually a tower ongoing right now? I might just hop into one of those. Okay, someone's starting it, so we'll hop in. The main thing about balancing quest stuff is, yes, I'll probably do it eventually, but it's always difficult. It takes a lot of time to do it correctly. Make it worth players' time, and then something that they can actually, like, do for progression. Like, please fix your mic. I don't know what's going on with the mic. I'll check the chords. Make sure the chords are in. And then I'll go double check that it hasn't swapped over to... Nope. Okay, now I'm throwing because I'm in the middle of a tower and checking to make sure my mic quality is good. Okay, yeah, no. I am just straight up not helping. Okay. Yeah, I don't really want to mess too much with it. Oh, okay. So you're complaining it's something with you. It might not be something with you. If it's getting worse, it probably is. I can't imagine doing nothing would Okay, where are you? There you are. Frosty, there you are. And Snowman. Good eye. You know, I hit all these items. You think I'd know where they are at. Yellow book. There it is. And orange. This one's always in the same place because I thought it was in a difficult spot, so I just kind of left it as the only spot. But yeah. No, yes. When you have your, or with headphones at least, when you have your, or at least me with my Bluetooth headphones, if you have the mic set to the headphones, and then also your, speaker set to the headphones, it actually, the Bluetooth has to downgrade the audio to, like, actually compensate for it. So it can do both ways, which really lowers your quality. I don't know if that's exactly what's going on, but sometimes your sound settings can like really mess up how stuff sounds by having like a mic enabled or whatever, which is a really good indication when I'm like, okay, why does my audio sound weird? I need to go change which mic I'm using. So I can use the higher quality one, but yeah. Yeah, I got AirPods. Yeah, so if you're using the AirPods and you use the mic on the AirPods at the same time you're using the speakers, the audio will die. The best way to do that is just to swap to a different mic, or if you can't do that, just turn off your mic if you care more about the audio. Hello. Zioff? I don't know. Do you pronounce the 0 like a 0 or an O in your name? I know it's like offline or whatever, but I don't know. Sometimes people are weird with their usernames. I know whenever it has a number and it's always like, do you pronounce it as a number or do you just ignore it and pronounce it like, for instance, a 1 as just an I? Oh, okay. That's good. Good to know. I've been pronouncing it correct. Yeah, we're 2 rare gifts away from getting our first mythical gift, and we haven't been getting any, so might be a little bit before we actually make progress on this. We are able to buy a 1,000 key mythical though, so we'll probably be doing that sooner rather than later. Which, you know, rate-wise, that's about expected. You should get a 1,000 key mythical in slightly less time than it takes to get a godly gift with the, or mythical gift with the event pass. You get godly gifts quite a bit faster, but yeah. Oh, interesting. Weird opposite issue? Yeah, no, mic and audio is weirdly interrelated. And like, I don't even understand it, and I'm kind of technical-ish. Not really. I'm more of software technical, not the hardware technical person. But yeah. Anyway, it's halfway through the tower, and then we need to go find some gingerbread ghosts. Oh, and another thing about this, like, I have Discord open at the same time. Usually I have to close Discord for my FPS. So actually being able to browse Discord at the same time as streaming is, you know, kind of different. I can actually see that I'm getting like 1,000 pings sometimes, and go read it and see whether or not I need to respond, which is good and bad. It means I'm distracted from streaming. Alright, I did walk right through that lava. I probably shouldn't have. I literally have never been able to be bothered to go around that side, and it's been that way since 2020, 2 or whenever those obby rooms were added. I do not care about completing that floor without taking damage. I will jump into that lava. It takes way too long, in my opinion, to go around. Oh no, I am missing out on a Mr. Present. You're right. Yeah, no, that's actually unfortunate. Like, Mr. Present low-key gives the same amount of keys as an entire, like, tower. Like, half a tower or something silly with gum, and it is actually something where missing him is an issue. But yeah. Also, apparently if you click set up for streaming on OBS when you make it, it automatically adds so many cool features to it. Like, I have chat now in my OBS. Like, just visible, so I don't have to have stream open for chat. I have controls in here by automatic too, which is so... I'm not used to having these built-in stuff into the OBS, so it's nice. I think I got also a few other built-in features, like it automatically connects the stream to the correct stream or whatever. So I don't have to like weirdly set it up every single time I do a stream for some stuff, but like I can select which stream to stream into. I didn't have to enter like keys or anything. I just kind of entered my account details and voila, it was done. Alright, no, we still have those. Okay, someone got them. Snowman. I'm surprised at how well that room works. Like, it's such a simple concept, but it's actually surprisingly difficult. It's probably one of the quicker puzzle rooms. Maybe I should have added a few more ghosts, but the issue is you kind of run out of ghosts to use because you only have like, what is it, 12 different ghosts that you can use, and then they all have to be unique if you want to use them, so you need some that aren't unique, so you're capped at like 6 or so ghosts that you could actually use, and like it just kind of gets a little weird. Oh, there's 2 Mr. Presents that I missed. That is annoying. Yeah, no, the big thing is if we miss out on like a rare gift drop, like not a rare present, but a rare gift from the presents, that's the main thing I want to catch, which again, we don't know if we ever happens, but yeah. Also, the live stream I haven't really set up my webcam normally. Usually I have like a transparent border around it. I might actually go like green screen because like that is actually, I don't know, green screen looks cool. Probably would work well with what I stream, I guess. I'd hope, but right now camera works, audio mostly works, so that's good to hear. The stream hasn't really like collapsed on itself. PC definitely works. I haven't seen it drop, like even like kick up a higher gear for the fan or whatever, which is just so nice. How do I go about adding dialogue to the game? It used to be a process where you know what the documents look like. You've been in weekly work, but basically those documents used to be like the first, I think, up till Easter or whatever. Like the first 3 times I did dialogue, I'd manually copy paste all that dialogue into a thing. You've seen the output. Basically, it goes into one script or whatever with each being a list of like what the dialogue for each line would be. I copy paste like each of those lines individually into the script and then formatted it so it correctly matches correct format. I got bored of doing that and got a script for it. So basically I copy paste. What I currently do is copy paste all the dialogue thing into a text document, which gets rid of all the formatting for that is in there for Google Docs, which it has minor effects. And then I run it through a Python script that me and ChatGPT wrote. I asked it to tell me how to get stuff from like a text file into another text file to save it or whatever, and then I wrote like where to find stuff and stuff into it. I know how to use AI responsibly for coding, which is you use it for the small stuff you do, not for your everyday stuff. Is at least my opinion. But yeah, I used a little bit of it, then mostly just wrote it myself to actually have the correct logic for it. And then copy paste that result. It does have a few issues. I haven't like perfectly programmed it, so it's a little bit more simpler. So it has a few issues where every once in a while it leaves incomplete dialogue, complete dialogue lines in there because the way it registers lines is a little bit strange because of the copy paste from docs to text file. So it reads each line or whatever and checks for a specific string and that it inputs that line in as well, which is easy enough to code around, but I haven't done that yet. But yeah, so most of that's done by copy paste, run a code, output. Yeah, I usually don't do stuff. Every once in a while I do have to edit the dialogue if it's like too long or whatever, or just read through it or whatever to make sure nothing bad in there, I guess. Not necessarily bad, but just everything makes sense. It's up to any random changes I've made to like biome names sometimes. Not this event because I was running short on time and didn't care that they all reference their old biome name. Can't you just download Google Docs as a text file? Probably. But it's easier just to copy paste. Like I don't have to download something. Like with images as well, I prefer copy pasting an image from somewhere into like Discord or whatnot versus saving it and then uploading it or whatever. It's just, you know, easier. But yeah, I haven't actually got that set up on this new PC, so that's kind of something I have to go into my laptop for now. Alright, we still need those 2 uncommon gifts. Rather download. Copy paste works fine. It only like cuts off every second all the extra rewards. Like, one of the big issues with that I've, you know, noticed, and I haven't fixed yet, is I'll only show one line of, like, quest requirements or quest rewards. So every once in a while when I put in the dialogue, I forget to go double check to see if there's a second rewards or second quest requirements in something, and so I completely forget. Like, that happened during Easter, during that, I think the one Pidge wrote. He had a lot of secondary requirements that I just forgot to look at. And after that, I realized, oh, I need to be checking for additional rewards or requirements in those because my code doesn't grab that stuff because I didn't program it to. But yeah. No, it's the code that's skipping stuff, not my program. Not the text file itself, and yeah, copy paste doesn't have any issues. I mean, I'm sure under the hood it's pretty much the exact same as a file that it saves, except it saves it into probably cache instead of actual thing on your hard drive, which is good in some respects, so you don't have random space being taken up by stuff. Rare gift. No, godly gift. Okay. Nice. I'll take it, I guess. Yeah, okay. I do apologize about the biome spawns. Some of them are rotated the wrong way, and so you end up running in the wrong direction right when you get there. Some of them, like the one at Ski Slip, is done on purpose because that way faces more of the ghosts. I probably should just make it more consistent to be for the present, because that's what most people are using them for. You guys can think of it how, like, Wild West, the teleport for the boss there, you all know where that one is. It's completely on the opposite side of where the boss actually is, which is hilarious. You have to go walk to the boss itself, which is annoying, but it's kind of funny to have that one weird goat boss. I see you have the emote stuff auto doing things, but yeah, no, I've realized that's an issue. I mean, it's a minor issue, but it's definitely inconsistent. The other one that did get fixed was the one in the frozen lake got changed to the lake edge because, you know, the biome itself was locked, so people couldn't actually teleport to the biome. I have cute. Yeah. No, that's kind of funny. It's like autocomplete issue or autocorrect issues, but on a whole different level. Funny enough, I've turned off like autocomplete on pretty much anything I use, mainly because I don't like it. It doesn't work more times than not, and I prefer just to type stuff myself. I know how to spell well enough that I don't need it. No, it's actually kind of cool though, to have that sort of stuff, especially for that longer stuff. Oh. And then we'll probably get another rare gift for once. I know someone on Discord that would be really annoyed to see that. Like, really annoyed to see that. And it's one of those things where gifts are RNG a little bit. And when you get good RNG on some stuff, it can be annoying when you have the bad RNG on other stuff. And, or when you have bad RNG, you hate it when the other people get good RNG. But, like, holy, that's like the second rarest thing you can get from those gifts. It's like a 2.5% for the present throne, and then 3% for the godly gift, and 5% for the gift seeker. Gift seeker and present throne are actually a lot more common than you'd think. They're probably could have been like 0.05% or 0.5% and 1% and still been fine. It's just, I mean, people were already complaining about how rare they were when they first dropped, so, yeah. Didn't want to get people too annoyed with the rare stuff from purely RNG stuff. It was, yeah, arguably it should be rare, but it's whatever. But yeah, 2 godly gifts from 2 godly presents in a row is, that's good rates. But yeah, now if we go look at the gifts that we have, you'll see that we have plenty of most of them. Actually, it's only godly gifts we're way over on, and that's actually around what we should be at. Like, based on the amount of uncommon gifts we have, we should be at around 3 godly gifts, so we only have like 1 more than expected. But yeah, we're behind on rare gifts. We're behind on, yeah, behind on rare gifts mainly. Let's go drop a boss. Enchanted. Again, this is the best thing to use Boscom on. How's the stream going? It's actually going really nice. As you can probably tell by the lack or the amount of frames that we have, the upgraded PC is working really well. I no longer need to worry too much about stuff. yeah, we're going to ignore that one just because I need to get this quest done sooner rather than later. But yeah, no, it's going pretty well. We've been getting lucky on some gifts, but rare gifts we are still missing 2 for the mythical, our first mythical, which is less of an issue than it would seem because I don't plan on grinding enough to actually use all of the stuff I'll get from my login rewards. So if I just log in regularly, I'll be able to craft soon enough. But I do want to get it today, and so just waiting a little bit, or getting enough time to get those last 2 rare gifts would be really cool. I've been getting so many snowflakes. Yeah. Unfortunately, I haven't programmed it to be more lucky when I'm in the server. People are like you might expect that I have dev panel stuff do that. I literally have no control over the rarity of stuff outside of like the code itself. So I'd have to have hard coded it into the game, and I don't do that. Like, people are always like, oh yeah, could you hard code it so that you always get like the best thing from stuff? And yes, I could. It's just I wouldn't because that's a pain to do and looks really spaghetti to have hard-coded stuff like that. So I tend to avoid such measures. Like it's a lot better just to have the same rates for everyone, not have developer-specific stuff. Yes, Event Pass was intentionally made to work on the quest rewards, and that is done because quest rewards are something you can grind. There is no reason for it to not affect it. It's like tower rewards. Tower rewards get 2x. So quest rewards get 2x. It is something you can grind for. It makes sense to apply to both snowflakes and keys. It does not apply to gifts from rewards, but it will apply to the currencies. That's the permanent magnet. You get it from Jack in the Remnant Zone. That's been there since Royal added like 2022, April or so, or August, sometime 2022. One of my least favorite perk additions of the game, but I can't remove it, so it's stuck there. But yeah, permanent magnet. Well, heavily requested feature that the rest of the community likes. But as someone that does not like permanent perks being added to replace stuff that already exist, hence why Billy got used for the additional streams or whatever, or part of that, because, you know, that makes Finsley and Master Hunter actually somewhat useful. But yeah, no, it's in the game, permanent magnet. Everyone except for me gets to enjoy it. It is definitely unnecessary. I prefer perks like the, you know, I prefer the kind of perks I've added to the game, where it adds, you know, okay, oh, you guys got it. I didn't help with that present, but I'll go help clean it up, if people needed me to. But yeah. Well, it used to be difficult. It used to require, like, I think it was, did it require 2 bosses? It used to require a lot more work than it does now. Even now, it probably is a little bit too difficult for new players getting into the game, but whatever. I'm not changing it super soon. Alright, again, we're looking for rare gifts. I mean, it's not a difficult quest. So, we'll do it. But yeah, we are still just looking for those rare gifts. We could get those from rare drops from ghosts. It's unlikely, but possible. Definitely the least efficient way to get gifts. Barring Tower, but Tower doesn't give you any, so obviously that's going to be the worst. No, Bloxbite HQ is for the previous devs. It's lore-wise that those old devs are in the game. Whereas any of us new devs, we aren't really part of that Bloxbite HQ lore. So we aren't going to be added to like Bloxbite HQ. if for some reason we somehow decide to add ourselves in lore for like third arc or something, maybe then we'll be added to the game with like chests or whatnot, but most likely no. Most likely it's just going to be similar to how Royal, where Royal doesn't have really any boss chests in the game. That's more of a first arc thing, so not going to redo that. Not going to revisit that with us. It would cheapen out the work that those original devs did for the game. We've had so many Mr. Presents in this server. Like, sometimes I'm like, wait, is the RNG working correctly? And I'm like, yeah, of course it is. It's just, events like this is kind of guaranteed to happen when you play enough. And, I mean, people randomly played enough, so, yeah, no, we're going to have inspired stuff, in the game, stuff that's themed after us, you know. Just not going to be Blocks by HQ chests for sure, and most likely not going to be like dev heads of ours. Although, who wouldn't want one of my dev heads just floating behind them? Like, seriously. But yeah, no. Anyways, enough foreshadowing about my concepts. Alright, I can't find a normal gum, the enchanted gum, so we'll use that. Will there ever be another World and Go sim, possibly reaching until level 40? Most likely, like, that's the easy expansion, is going up to until level 40. I mean, the thing is, boop. It's coming soon. Soon. It's been coming soon for 2 years now. But yeah, no, antennas are harder to say. The next world is going to be more of the Blocks by HQ type of world with just the Mega Boss in it. I think that's been confirmed. I mean, if you can't, you can assume that from Jack. I was about to run off. I need to stay just long enough to make sure that people know I'm staying in case there's a ghost spawn, because I'm not one of those people that abandons the gifts when the ambush starts or the boss spawns. I will deal with the mess. I opened the gift, or opened the present. Yeah, you're probably getting you are probably getting GTA 6 before that. That sounds about correct. No, you guys, I don't need that. I really do not need that. But yeah, once we are done with Original Forest, then it's kind of up to us for, like, third arc. Technically, third arc. Like, the way it was said to me is, like, once we are done with second arc, we get a full control over what third arc looks like. And so, who knows? I certainly don't. I haven't planned that far ahead. I am still planning on how in the world I'm going to go fix some inventory system in the next update or whatever. I don't think it's next up. I think I get one more update to figure out what I want to do with the inventory system. But I don't know what we can really do. We can do anything. Like, you know, rebirths came out of the blue with people playing. Remnants is such a cool concept with those rebirths. Yeah, I'm only going to take a break if we get, like, rarer plus presents, because I really only need the rare gifts at the moment, so we aren't going to... We're going to focus Blue Elf for now. I mean, it is definitely one of those things that's a ways out. Like, if that were to happen... At the rate we've been releasing new worlds, it's going to be like 2026, 2027, for the first start of a new antenna-leveled world, because, yeah, it's a lot of work. I need to get the... But yeah, I really don't know. Like, there's always that possibility that, like, none of that even ends up happening. Like, I want to make that happen, but it's not like we're guaranteed for me to continue working on this game for 2 years. Like, I've already worked on it for a year, and it's been fun. But, like, you know, eventually I do have to get a real job, and most likely I think I'd have enough time to continue doing Ghost Sim development and new game development on the side. Okay, we need to get to that, though. But I can't say for certain if I do get a real job. Like, it could be one of those jobs that's like, oh yeah, you need to put 60 hours a week, even though, but we pay you a lot or whatever. That software's very used to doing. But yeah, no, it's... But yeah, no, eventually either this game will people will cut the cord on this game, like Mackie and Adam will cut the cord on this game and start like a Ghost Sim 2 sort of idea, or just completely move away from Ghost Sim. But like Ghost Simulator is popular enough that I think like there's community demand. There is, I mean, if Ghost Simulator 1 ends, there'd be developers would be up for it, I'm assuming. But yeah, no, I don't really know though. There we go. That's the exact quest we were looking for. That's actually exciting. Easy enough quest, and then yeah, boom. We're done with our first mythical gift after this. That's like the exact quest I was looking for. Yeah, no, it would be cool. There's always, like, going for a second, you always run into that sequel being worse than the first one or whatever, which no one wants. Like, if there's a Ghost Sim 2, it better be really cool. It better fix all the bugs. And yeah, it always feels like a cash grab to do a second, so it'd have to be, like, really, really worth it. And then, yeah, it's a lot of work too. What would you even do? Think about Pet Sim works. That'd be probably a similar idea where you have that same ghost idea. It probably just continues the lore, would be my guess. But with a fresh slate, without like all the NPCs added, all the mess that's come with the game, so that new players can get into it easier. They don't need to know the lore, but the background lore is there for the people who care about the depth, and if people play enough, they can be like, oh, let's just check what Ghost Simulator 1 looks like, and figure out the lore from there. But, you know, that would be my idea. Of course, like, simulators, like, it's easy enough to make a simulator too, so there's a lot of ways to do it, so probably not super 100% accurate exactly how it's going to end up being, but or how it would end up being, but yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, that's not how games work. You don't just get added to the game because you played the original one. But yeah, no. Again, I don't think a Ghost Sim 2 is going to happen. I think it's more possible than I think it is, which is weird to say, weird to phrase. But, like, I've always said that, like, no, there won't be a Ghost Sim 2. I don't want a Ghost Sim 2. But I think, realistically speaking, it is more likely than I think, and also better than I think it would be. Like, I think it's a terrible idea. It's probably actually not a terrible idea. Yeah, no, it's definitely tedious. Even the rebalancing I've done to make early game easier isn't enough. I need to, like, I was thinking about this when I was balancing for Christmas. I need to really sit down and balance it so the progression of a new player feels fun. Like, they feel like they're getting somewhere. They feel like oh, I can get to that pet. I can get to that pet. I can get to that pet. I can get to that antenna level. I can get to that antenna level. I can complete this quest or whatever. Rather than right now where it's just kind of like balanced time-wise, but not balanced fun-wise, which is where like Ghost Sim 2 would actually fix those problems by resetting everyone to that same level. So there's less of those compounding issues. The issue with that is you do lose stuff from Ghost Sim 1. You can run into that prequel worse than sequel worse than the previous one, and so many issues can just arise because of having a sequel to the game. Also, so many presents. I need to remember I am grabbing 9 more ghosts, or 2 more ghosts. Fortunately, ghosts do respawn pretty quickly if you clear out the entire biome. Oh, I'm not grabbing from this biome. What am I thinking? Yeah, I won't get a reward from here, so I don't actually know why I'm doing this, but... Okay, I should help clean up, though. I did contribute to this mess. Alright, 9 more of these ghosts. I don't know why I vacuumed the wrong ghosts. There we go. And we got the gifts. Now we can go craft a mythical gift. And then what is our next quest? 8 legendary gifts. Yeah, we're going to be way ahead on godly and legendary gifts once we're done with this. Anyways, there we go. First mythical gift. We are now all the way out of rare gifts, which is kind of to be expected. We have 30 more uncommon gifts. Kind of cool. And yeah. So I guess bets in. What do you guys think I'm going to get? Am I going to get a cool chunk or a scrap bag? Have I been naughty or have I been nice? We'll see. Let's see. I have been naughty apparently. But no, that's actually, I think that's considered the cooler one. I'm not exactly sure which one's considered cooler by the community, but yeah. So it's just kind of a floating cold chunk of coal that occasionally burns color. There we go. Neglecting the wiki images, yeah. Yeah, that's probably why. There's still like 6 pages that don't have wiki images yet. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for the stream. We are right about that 2.5 hour mark. I need to go get a... What am I saying? I have 1,000 keys to go spend. So yeah, let's go spend 1,000 keys. Question is, what should I go ahead and get? Do we get the pet or the board? Or do we get 2 500s? The 500s are cool though. Ooh, I guess, can I do a poll really quick? Board is cooler in my opinion. Pool. Let's start a pool. I'm just trying to make sure I get enough clicks. Which mythics do I get? Oof. Okay, I click something. There we go. Alright, I'll ask the poll once I finish this present, because I do actually want the godly gift rewards. I don't really have good advice for people learning how to code. The way I learned how to code is using projects. So me being able to work on Ghost Sim has really taught me how to code. But like Ghost Sim or like Roblox itself has a lot of good guides. I'd recommend. They have some games that they use as like examples. They're kind of difficult to find. Like the way I've found them is like as an example on like their documents, which is something I've used to really learn how to program. I understand how to read documentation. But like download one of those games, see how it works or whatever, and then you can go from there would be a good way. But yeah, no, learn how to code is, I don't know how to recommend it. I don't know how to teach it. I know that when I was learning how to code, I could not watch a guide on like a walkthrough on how to do something or whatever. I did not understand what was going on. So I don't recommend those. Documentation is not how you learn how to code. That is how you learn how to, that's where you find stuff when you know how to code. And then the guides are obviously kind of rough on actually starting, in my opinion. Yeah. I don't know. Hop into Roblox Studio is usually my recommendation, and like try to figure out how to do stuff. And then go from there. But that's not how everyone knows how to program, so which mythical should I get? Alright, you guys get a vote. $1,000 mythical board, the 1,000 mythical pet, or both the 500s. Yeah, all right, there you go. There's your poll. You guys have, I don't know, 2 minutes to figure that out. Yeah, 1,000 key pet, 500 keys. Yeah, both those are, I think all of them are pretty good. I was a little worried with pricing stuff at 1,000 keys, because every once in a while we have some expensive thing in the game. People are like, oh, this isn't worth getting. It's so, doesn't look good. I think these are worth it, look-wise, which is good, especially with the fact that I made balance-wise to be at that max gum usage for like quests and stuff, so that it doesn't actually feel as difficult, even though it is the same difficulty as if someone was running full gum. But yeah, looks like okay. I don't know if I need to go a full 5 minutes. It looks like 4 out of 5 people have said both the 500 mythicals. So I don't know if we're getting more than 5 votes on this poll. Yeah, that's exactly the amount of concurrent users. So let's just go ahead and end that. That was a quick decision. And yeah, these are really cool, especially with the reskins with the... Oh, our internet crashed. I know, because of my present stopped. Hopefully I don't open 2. That would be a pain. Alright, yeah, I think our Roblox crashed. We're just going to reload really quick. Leave, rejoin. Yeah, I understand that feeling. I know with like models, it's hard to say stuff is ugly, especially when it's someone's concept. So as a developer, I avoid calling stuff bad looking, in general. But I can understand when people are like, oh yeah, an item that doesn't look cool enough to be it, to be that expensive or whatever. But yeah, I think all of these mythicals end up just looking amazing this year, which really helps. Even like Greed's Reward, which I made, ended up looking good, which is surprising me. But yeah, there we go. Got both of those. Probably for a new player, if you get 1,000 keys, you probably go for the pet just because of stats. But these are cool as well. Although I did technically buy the shop thing, I did kind of just give that immediately away. So I already had those in my index at some point, but now I have them officially. And yes, I do understand the board is slightly laggy for some people. I don't know if it's laggy for me or not. I can't remember. But everyone always says that this lags a different amount. But yeah, you can hear it swing flap sounds occasionally. And yeah, it's a cool looking board. The main part of it does kind of alternate colors for a nice icy feel. But yeah. Yeah, that's grind for day. We did get quite a bit done. I haven't spent my snowflakes. I'm planning on just keeping and saving those until I can actually afford more stuff, but we'll see. Eventually I might end up crafting this into one of these two, because these are kind of just cooler upgrades. Both these reskins I made, so I'm a bit biased again. But yeah, no, there's some cool reskins to this board if you want. But overall, really cool models for this event, if I do say so myself. But yeah, that will be it for today's stream. Thank you guys for coming out. I do plan on making a regular stream schedule with maybe even like streams on Monday and Tuesday, because I do have available time on both those days, where I like free time where I could actually stream. I can't really stream on any other days, unfortunately, but 2 streams a week would be kind of cool. But I also do want to make more YouTube content, so we'll see about that. I might make a short clickbaity one where it's like how to grind gifts the best in the Christmas event or whatever, just to you know, get some clicks to my channel or whatever. But anyways, thank you guys for coming out, and I will see you guys later. Hopefully I get a regular schedule on for you guys. If not, maybe next Monday. Expected stream next Monday or sometime if I don't say anything else. Bye.